welcome to the first ever episode of Shock the System. Hope you like the intro. That's the best I can do. This one is about Coles supermarkets, not just the one I worked for, but other ones as well, and how they bully their employees. Here goes. Please forgive me for my language because it's gonna be pretty bad. So just trying to get this lined up. Okay. So anyway, I've did work for my employers of 10 years, and it started off okay, getting your foot in the front door in any business. You want to make an impact, you want to stand out, you want to do the best you possibly can. Now when you first start in the job, obviously you're not going to be the best, and I wasn't. I was pretty new to it all, and I didn't fit in. I guess I wasn't liked from the very first day, because I'm very outspoken and I tell it like it is. And if I don't like something, and if someone bullies me, I stand up for myself. I mean, there's always going to be bullying in the worst place, but when you hear this, you're going to be shocked at what happened to me. So, for the first few years, I was just a filler. Just filled at night fill, and didn't really get along with one of the night fill bosses early stages, because he was just a cocky son of a bitch. He just he was dating one of the girls in the one of the other departments, and no shit, every night between him and his girlfriend, drama, and one night out of nowhere he's like, "I'm going," and so, "Where are you going?" "Oh, I've got issues to sort out with," aka his girlfriend. So that night I actually took over night fuel, and then, yeah, I don't know too much about that because it's the early stages, but a lot of the night fuel bosses have all been rude and arrogant and treat you like dog shit. I don't know why. This is through like the first 5 years. I never got along with them, especially one of the night fuel managers was a gay person, and he would literally make me feel sick because there's some shit you keep to yourself, but he just didn't keep it to himself. And when he told a story to some of us guys about him and a younger guy, and yeah, I don't want to go into details, but it was a sick, disgusting sexual story. Like, me and the guys were just like horrified, like, what the fuck, this guy's talking about, oh, hang on, I just noticed my thing crooked. Alright, so anyway, he would literally just chat up any male. Within the first week or two of being there, he added every single male in the store, young ones and all, and it's just not professional of a night for manager. He was not the worst, by all means. We did have one nightful manager that decided to sleep with one of the checkout girls and had sex actually in the store. And at the time he was nightful manager, he was single, but the girl was married with kids. And Coles covered this up very, he and they had sex in our store in one of the back rooms, and he got away with it. People say he got fired, where actually he didn't get fired, because it's funny, because it's the same dude, this Nightfield guy, right? He used to flirt with all the women at Nightfield, like especially the younger girls, and it got to a stage where I was casual, and all my hours was going towards the girl he liked. So talk about favoritism, and that made me like just fucked off. So when he got caught with his pants down, having sex with one of the checkout girls, believe it or not, they didn't fire him, Coles. They moved him to another store. And I figured that one out. They moved him to another store. And you know what, long story short, you know what he actually got fired for? He took something from the shop and put it to the back, and because he didn't have a check seal on it, and didn't pay for it, he got done for shoplifting. So karma did get him back. So anyway, let's just fast forward to one of the worst night field managers I've ever had. Alright, there was this guy, we'll just call him R. We'll just call him R because, I don't want to name the guy because, I can get in trouble with the law. Anyway, he was fucking disgusting to me. He used to bully the shit out of me. He used to abuse me with profanity, threaten me. He actually shoved me a few times, which people don't understand. Oh, don't worry, none of this stuff's on camera. You'll find out why in a minute. So, this guy every night, and everyone was saying to him, he's bullying you, and I'm like, yeah, well, what the fuck can I do about it, R keeps bullying me. We'll call him Royce, we'll just call him Royce, anyway. One night, I had so much to do. I had to, do a certain amount in 3 hours. It got to 11 o'clock, and I couldn't face up the last few hours, but that's okay, because, when 11 o'clock hits, we're told you have to go on time. Doesn't matter what's left, you've got to do it. And, it was 11 o'clock, and I'm like, I'm going, see you later. And he's like, have you done the last 3 hours faced up? I'm like, no, man, I could only get 2 of them done. That's not fucking good enough, you got to do it. And I'm like, mate, I got to go at 11 o'clock. I've done my job as filling. There's people here till 12 and 1 o'clock. I have to go 11. We're told by upper management we have to leave whenever we finish. So, he's like, you're not fucking going. And I said, no, fuck you, mate, I'm going. It's 11 o'clock, I gotta go home. So anyway, as I'm walking from the back of the store, the front of the store, he's screaming profanity at me, insulting me. And by the way, there's actual footage of him doing this, but because there's no sound, I call crap on that. There's no evidence of it, mysteriously. So when I got to the front of the sign-out room, him and another person, was like assistant night manager at the time, blocked the door to the sign-in room, so I couldn't get out, right? And he was still going off, and the guy next to him, no shit, wasn't even going to say anything, just they would not let me out. And I thought, and by the way, apparently the camera doesn't pick up that. Well, there's a camera right above the door where it happened. You can't pick that up. Well, you'll find out why later, why this evidence never got shown to the store manager. So, when I eventually got free, so I just shoved freight for him because I couldn't give a shit, he messaged me saying, if you don't say shit about the incident, I won't say shit. Alright, so I'm thinking, I want to go to the store manager about this and say something. So the next day came, guess who got called in the store manager's office? And I got a warning for it because I'm not allowed to say that. I'm like, he bullied me. And they didn't do shit about it. So I was like, great. So I get bullied and I get abused and there's footage of it, but magically it's not showing up. So a couple weeks later, they move him to another store. UBE. I can finally get back on track, get me back on my feet. I got by. The store wasn't too bad. I mean, we had a lot of store managers come and go at the time, and one of them was just like, one night, one of our ex-store managers, female, we have to have our name badge, we have to have our shirts tucked in and shoes done up properly, all neat and tidy, right? So, before work starts, I go to the toilet, chuck my stuff in my locker, and as I'm leaving the toilet, like, I haven't got my shirt tucked in because I've just been in the loo, I get abuse from the store manager. Tuck your fucking shirt in. Fucking do up your shoelace. And I'm thinking, I just got out of the fucking toilet. I haven't even hit the front of the store. And then she's like, where's your badge? And I'm like, I left it at home. Well, go get another one. Pay $2. And it's like, what? Like, I'm in uniform. And I just got out the toilet. So, she didn't last long. She went off and done her thing. Now we go back up to the closer date. As night fillers, we get pushed and pushed and pushed. And when this new store manager came in, we'll just call him G. We'll just call him G. G comes in. and the whole place just gets turned upside down. This guy was, for a store manager, he was a bully, and you know, I at the time, you know, they're well aware of my depression and anxiety, and they know I'm the union delegate. So like, if anyone's got a problem in the store, they come to me. So one night, I think it was a Sunday night. We just finished work, and man, I was sweating, I was stressed, I was upset and angry, because going back to Reese, I will call him. I just found out that he, the one that bullied me and blocked the door from when I was trying to sign out. That bully there got a girlfriend. It's the hottest thing ever, and it was his girlfriend was friends with my girlfriend, and that was just the final straw. I'm like, how does that bully get a piece of ass like her? And you know, and I even like said to her, I was like, so he's like bragging on Facebook about his new girlfriend and stuff, and then I'm in the car, I'm thinking, fuck this, I'm gonna make a video. And I stated in the video about how I'm sick and tired of bullies, you know, treating people like shit, and they get rewarded and they get everything coming to them. And I said in that vid that if he didn't work for Coles and I didn't work for Coles, I would stand up to him as the bully, and I'd make his day, right? So technically it's a threat against an employee of the same business, but because I'm never going to see him again, I thought, you know, and I was distressed. I was emotional wreck. I didn't even know what I was saying in the vid. So the next day, I get a phone call. Someone from Coles, possibly this orange-haired bitch, we'll talk about her in a bit, probably sent the vid to the guy, and long story short, they say, oh, we can't have that, you know, we're focused on safety of all our employees and stuff. And I'm like, he's a bully, right? You're saying that he's gonna get away with it again, right? Haven't you seen the footage and notes from previous times with me and him? They're like, oh, we heard about it, but you never brought it up. I'm like, we had meetings, we recorded meetings that, you know, he was bullying me. You know I've got depression, you know I've got anxiety. I come to you for support and you never support me. Oh, why are you bringing this up now? The store manager's telling me, why am I bringing this up now? This is why, if you go into a boss's office, have everything signed. And even if you have to record it, because, you know, you've got evidence. And also, bring a union person in, because these bosses are liars. So the day I got fired, when I was in the office, I said to them, hang on a minute, so you're saying, I looked 3 bosses in the eyes when I said this, store manager here, grocery manager here, night fill manager here, and I said, so you're saying you've never had an altercation with another male or female in your life, you've never had an issue, you've never gotten angry? And all 3 of them like, no, we don't believe in violence. Excuse my French. You've been around a lot longer than me and you've never had an incident with someone in your life. Fuck you, that's a fucking lie. Everyone has issues, and this is why I didn't know it at the time, but I know it now. That store manager was best friends with the bully. That's why the evidence never came to speak, and that's why he got away with it. Store manager. And before all this, because I was one of the best night field workers there at the time, me and a couple of others were asking for extra hours on top of our part-time. Oh no, we can't do that, we can't do that. Alright. These sisters of doom, we call them, these 2 sisters came in out of nowhere, and they started working, and they got 30 plus hours a week. And because the reason why they got all their hours is because, or they were sleeping with a not night field boss, the store manager or the grocery manager. And the thing that I'm disgusted in is because they're young females, and because they've got tits, they flaunt them and they get the hours. Within the first week, 30 hours plus. One of them's a good worker, but the other one's just because it's a sister. And I think that's disgusting. And you know what's funny? Long story short, when that grocery manager did leave, he took those two sisters to the store he works at. And how fucked is that? Like, seriously? Talk about favoritism. Fucking those two little whores get fucking all the hours they want. And yeah. So when I did get fired, I'm kind of glad in the way my hours actually went to some people that needed it. But I could have saved my job, and I said no, because I'm not working for a store that bullies people, and I'm not working for a store that treats you like a piece of shit. There was one girl that the store manager liked. She was this orange-haired, just goddess, and we'll just call her M. We'll just call her Mel. We'll just call her Mel. Anyway, she's just a checkout chick at the end of the day, but because she's a hot piece of ass and she sucks Nightfield managers' dicks, and that's a proven fact. That's not a lie. She slept with one of the Nightfield managers at our store. The Nightfield manager actually fell in love with her, and she treated him like a piece of shit. Because she's got a piece of ass, she flaunts it around the store. One night, the store manager actually gave her an award for, wait for it, good customer service. Well, excuse my fucking French, but what about the other 20 checkout people, you know, doing the same exact thing as her? But because, you know, you fancy her, she gets a fucking $50 voucher just because she's a fucking hot piece of ass. And this is not the first time a store manager has been flirting with younger employees. Now, this is a bombshell I'm about to drop. Be aware. This store manager is married. Right? He's married, and he's flirting with underage checkout girls. Some are 15, some are 16, and in fact, I know from one of them, he's touched them, he's groped them, and you know what? He'll get away with it because he's a piece of shit. A lot of women in that store have complained about him to me. They said he's a piece of shit and he cheats on his missus. And the fact that there was one incident where, you know, when I said to you he's concerned about the safety of his employees. Well, one of the persons there, she was in the staff room, and he chucked the knife in the bin, like up, facing up. The girl went to put something down, and she nearly got stabbed with a knife. She said, "That's very dangerous, you shouldn't have done that." His response was, "It wasn't me." Even though the girl just saw him do that, and she's like, "You lie." And he had a go at her for questioning him. And this piece of shit only looks after the good-looking young females. And he's there after work chatting them up. He's there in the car park chatting them up. I've seen it with my own eyes. He touches their hand. He gives them hugs. He's the biggest sleaze you'll ever see. And I tell you what, the reason why I don't go into that store, because if I saw him, I'm not responsible for my own actions, because I don't like someone that lies and cheats on their wife, especially trying to have, or probably did, underage sex with 15-year-olds. That's statutory rape. And Coles let this guy be employed. He bullies people. He takes advantage of young girls, and they still let him be employed. And I think that's the most disgusting thing ever. And it's not just like, especially, I'll tell you an example. One night, this is so bad, do not have Coles cold meats ever again. Me and a couple of the guys had to like clean out the fridges with the cold meats in it and stuff. And as we're removing like the cold meats and putting them into another freezer, there are mice droppings inside the cold meats thing. The trays are filthy. There's mold. And when I saw that, I was like, fuck, that's disgusting. Now, coming up to the current day, they still clean their fridges about once or twice a week. But just be careful if you get sick from the cold meats there. Because a lot of times I've seen flies get into, because it's not sealed properly, I've seen flies get into the cold meats. I've seen, yeah, you just don't want to eat cold meats from Coles, trust me. And their bread, especially in our store, it was moldy. And they were selling it for, they were ripping their customers off, because at the end of the day, Coles think you, the customers, are a bunch of suckers. They prices are raised and they say, oh, but this is on special, this is on special. It's not on special. They chuck a ticket and say it's on special, but it's not. In fact, sometimes you're even paying more for the product. And this is just Coles in general. I've seen it with my own eyes. So you say if they're selling something for like $4, right? And oh, but it's on special. Yeah, but the normal price is still $4. But they're selling it for $4 because it's on special. Sometimes I've seen it even more, like $4.50 for something that's $4. But it's because it's got the special ticket. They think you're suckers. They're very racist, Coles, as well. We had a few Indian guys work for us night fuel, and they treated them like dog shit. And they were really good workers. Because if you're Indian or Italian or Greek, they won't treat you better, they'll treat you worse. They're racist. They don't want to give non-Australians the hours. They'd rather give it to young, attractive girls that are underage. They would rather, yeah, it's disgusting. It's like one person in another Coles in another state, he got fired because of his race, because they thought it looked bad for the company having an Indian work for them. If you want to check this out, check on YouTube for people wrongfully fired from Coles, and without going into details, you'll see what I mean. People getting wrongfully fired because of their race, their sexuality, even the way they look. See, you go to the Coles that I used to work for, all the girls there are like under 18. So the store manager can get his way, and chat them up and do stuff. And like I said, the orange-haired girl, that slut, because she's a slut, believe me, she flirts with all the guys in the store. She slept with one of the nightful managers. I've heard in the grapevines that she's done something with the store manager. I don't want to know, because likely she has, because she does get special treatment. At one stage, just to say, and I'm not vindictive here, but the first time I met her, she was cute, innocent, very quiet, did not say anything, had no friends. But because her looks played a part in it, guess where she ended up? Top of the food chain. And yeah, she got everything handed to her. So I was a bit disgusted about that because of her looks. So you have one girl that, you know, is an orange-haired bombshell that will sleep with anyone to get what she wants. Then you got the two sisters that fucking come into the store and take everybody's fucking hours just because they've got big tits and they're hot. That's not Hager. But the one thing I also don't like is there's a girl in our store. She only lives up the road from the store, like not even a 5-minute drive. She's always 5 minutes late, right? Always 5 minutes late. How long do you think, if she works for 3 hours, how long do you think she's in that aisle for? On an average night, I'd say 1.5 hours. The most of the time she's in the toilet. She's not the best worker. She rocks up late, and because of her looks, they don't do anything. And it's like, we had another guy that always came in late. He's just lazy, and he still got a job there. It's the best workers that get wrongfully fired, like myself and another person I'm just about to talk about. And these lazy shits keep their jobs. Now, I got taught growing up that you gotta be 5-10 minutes before you start and leave 5-10 minutes after. The fact that I stayed back for hours upon hours and lost a couple of $100 over the time I've been there because I stayed back for free, it wasn't worth it. I even came in at 3 AM in the morning with my shorts and t-shirt just to face up a freezer, you know? You can be the best worker at the end of the day and still get fired. We had another guy that was our nightful manager. He was working for Coles for 7 years. Fucking legend. Absolutely greatest guy I ever met. Hard working. Because our store manager once again didn't like him because he was different, moved him to another store and basically made it so hard for him in the other store that they fired him too. And you know what's good about this story is that guy now has got a job working for the opposition. So, and he said Drake's Foodland actually they're better to work for. And I'm telling you, if you want to shop, please do not shop at Coles. They treat their employees like shit. They think you customers are a bunch of suckers. They overcharge for things. Some things are not even like, well, some things like past their use by date. Trust me, do not buy the honey, because if you found out what's actually in the honey they sell, it would make you sick because of the preservatives and stuff that's inside. And long story short, that store manager is still employed by that business, and he will stay there. He will be rude, crude, racist. He'll keep flirting with the young girls, and that's what's sick about it. And for me, I can't go in there during the day because I would break down in tears and I'd hit the guy. Currently, I've been in at nights to see some of my friends there, and they're changing. Every single employee that I worked with, is changing me, because mentally that place is killing them. It nearly killed me, because I nearly committed suicide one night at the back there because it was too much. Because what they do to employees. Now, before I went into that store, I just got off I got off a bad relationship, broke up with my fiance. That store partly saved my life, because it got me off my feet, it took me off my mind, it got me a house. But then later on in life, the bullying came in, the bullies and the allegations and stuff, and then I look at it now, every person that started off there starts off fine, but then time kicks in, they're not themselves, and the people that are still working there, they're fucking changing, and they're fucking becoming obnoxious, they're losers, they're fucking losers. And I'm not gonna deny that. If one of them is watching this, I'm sorry, but you've changed, and that place is killing you. Get the fuck out of there and save your health. I got an older friend that works in fruit and veg there, and my god, that place is killing him. It's making him age so much, and he'd be a lot better away from that sort. They treat him like dog shit because he's older. So they look after the young girls there, because the young girls are the future apparently, and if they look, the better looking they are, the more hours they get. So that's pretty much what I had to say on that subject. The orange-haired girl is an absolute slut. The store manager, well, we don't need to go into him. The grocery manager was no better there. He never stuck up for me, never gave me an opportunity. I guess I don't really have any friends there anymore, and I don't care. I really don't care. I was the heart of Nightville, and when they removed the heart, that place got very sad and boring. And the fact that at one stage, us employees, we got to listen to our music as we're working at nights, because who wants to listen to Coles radio? But long story short, now you can still listen to your music, but it has to be like on your phone and on a shelf. So you think about, there's like 7-8 employees there, and they've got their music going. It's ridiculous. And the fact now that not only do they have to fill 65 cartons an hour, but they've got to count every single box they put on the shelf, and also fold their rubbish, bring it to the back, crush it. They've got to number all their back stock. They've got specials on one cage, non-specials on another. They've got to do all this in the hours they've got. And sometimes they have to do more than 2-3 hours a night, because they're pushing these employees to the extreme. My final word on this would be rest in peace, Coles, because someday someone's going to find you out, and you are going to be done for the racism remarks, the sexual allegations, the bullying, and yeah, that's all I want to say. So thank you for watching. If you want to know any more about this in more detail, check out my YouTube channel. I've got some vids there, how I wrongfully got fired, what happened and all the stuff. So I've got 2 videos on here, but this is for Shock the System. I hope you enjoyed the first episode. Coming soon, it will be Shock the System 2, featuring Pokemon Go, and the bad things about it, and the people that take it as their lives. So I must bid you adieu, so goodbye and good night. Bang.